You can also do e-commerce on Jeff's website, midsouthimages.com. Welcome to the Manningham Orthopedic Capital Center at Grace College. Again, Grace College is a tobacco-free campus. Team day programs containing information on both teams are available at either main entries. Restrooms are located on both levels, and the concession stand is located on the south concourse down from the upper main entrance. Grace College Athletic Department welcomes all players, officials, and fans. Participants in the NAIA Champions of Character Initiative, we ask each of you to help create a positive, competitive environment by showing respect for one another. On behalf of Grace Athletics, please enjoy the following athletic event.
by her parents, Morris and Kelly. Mahalskis hail from Xenia, Ohio. Deb's a secondary mathematics education major, and she has a 3.6 GPA. After college, Deb will be graduating from Grace in December. She'll be leaving to teach math at the Kosovo Leadership Academy in Southeastern Europe for 4 months. Some of her accomplishments include 2019 captain, Daktronics NAIA Scholar Athlete, Crossroads League All-Academic Team 2018 and 19, enjoying a career best season with 153 kills, and we hope we add to that tonight. Highlights include double-digit kills in 8 matches this season, and a career best of 19 kills against Spring Arbor. Ladies and gentlemen, Deborah Mahalski. And before I go any further, this is just a preview of a more extended honoring of our 3 seniors after the match, where you will hear from them in their own words. So this is just an appetizer. We'll get to the main course and dessert after the match. Our second senior is number 12, Alexa Hill. Escorted by parents Mike and Sharon Hill and fiance Stephen Halstead. Alexa Major is in elementary ed. She'll be minoring in Spanish, and boy, she almost had it, a 3.99 GPA. Who did the math on that one? Give her 4. After college, Alexa plans to marry Stephen and get a teaching job in Warsaw. All right, they're going to stick around. That's cool. Daktronics NAIA Scholar Athlete, multiple Crossroads League Setter of the Week honors, Crossroads League Setter of the Year in 2017, Crossroads League First Team All-Conference 17 and 18, NCCAA First Team All-American in 2017, and NCCAA All-Region in 2018. She had an All-American honorable mention in 2017 from the NAIA. She was the Poseida Academic All-District Team in 2017 and 2018. The Susan R. Hellings Award winner in 2018, the Google Cloud Academic All-American in 2018, and lastly, the second player in Lancer history ever to record 4,000 plus assists. Number 12, senior Alexa Hill. Well, the last of our trio of seniors tonight, she wears number 17, Caroline Meyer. Escorted by parents Rod and Shanna Meyer. Caroline has a major coming up in visual communications design and a marketing minor, and her GPA stands at 3.6. After college, Caroline's debating whether to pursue her master's in industrial design or enter the work field as a graphic designer. Some of her accomplishments include she'll be transferring to Grace in the fall of 2018 and join the GCBB program with 2 weeks' notice. Let me read that again. Transferring to Grace in the fall of 2018. She joined the program with a 2 weeks' notice. She was the captain in 2019. Enjoying a career best season with 293 digs, and we hope to add to that tonight. Highlights include double-digit digs in 13 matches this season, double-double versus Judson with 12 kills and 12 digs. A career best against Trinity International, 13 kills and 20 digs. Some of her highlights from her career. Well, like I said, we'll have a little bit more extended time with our seniors after the time constraints following the match are over. So let's give it up, fans, for our 3 outstanding seniors. Also, we want to recognize the seniors from Huntington. So put your hands together and congratulate the Forrester seniors, number 8, Elaine Friedensteiner, and 16, Paige Eckert. Well, let's continue. We'll begin now our pre-match protocol. Let's have you please rise. We'll begin with prayer, national anthem, and then we'll have the Foresters and the Lady Lancers. God, thank you
Good evening and welcome back, Lancer fans. This is Stephen Halstead with my co-host Mike Hill for a special game for the Grace Lancers tonight as they're honoring 3 seniors on this team, Deb Mahalski, Alexa Hill, and Caroline Meyer. Mike, Grace comes into this match losing 4 straight, but Saturday we saw a glimpse of a great potential for this Lancer team to finish this season strong. They lost to Marion in 4, but those last 2 sets, they battled the Knights and almost took the 4 set from them there. Testing 1, 2. Testing.
They got better.
Apologies there. We still have some technical difficulties that we are working through.
Yeah, for sure, Stephen. I would say that when you watch them play those last 2 games, I think a couple things stood out to me. One was the scrappiness in those last 2 games, being able to get the balls that we normally weren't getting to, being able to get the ball up and getting through some of those points. We were also getting some touches and getting some blocks up front, which gave us the opportunity to be able to get the ball up. Because early in the game, I mean, they were just putting holes in the floor with some of their hits that they had. And so being able to get touches, being scrappy, getting the ball up like that. And again, I think that, and you've talked about this before, Stephen, defense seems to feed intensity. You know what I mean? Like, we make great defensive plays, great blocks. The intensity of the team tends to go with those types of things. And I think they fed off of that and saw that, you know, this is a great team that we could compete with. And I think once they start to see that, it started to roll. Now, the question that you brought up, can it carry over into this game? And that's going to be the key.
Yeah, Grace actually beat Huntington in a 5-set thriller back on September 27th. They won the 5th set 15-13, so about as close as you can possibly be between these 2 teams in the previous matchup. So Huntington comes into this match struggling a little bit, losing only winning one of their last 9. So definitely opportunity for both teams. They think that they can get back on track into their winning ways before they go into the Crossroads League tournament that starts this Saturday. So Grace will take on St. Francis regardless of the outcome come Saturday. They're going to fall into that 6th slot. I believe Huntington is still battling for that 7th spot between Bethel. So Huntington is playing for that there, although they know they're in the tournament. Always helps kind of get a better seeding going into that.
And I think this is a good matchup for Grace. You know, when Grace struggles, it's usually when they have some real big middles on the other team that can get out to the pins and block us. And I think against Huntington, not that they're not a bigger team, but they're not going to be as big as some of the teams that they faced in the past. And I think that helps and is a good matchup for Grace.
Yeah, going back to that matchup on September 27th, Michaela Lockmuller kind of carried the Lancers to that victory. She had 16 kills that game. They didn't really have a block for that middle presence of Michaela there, so it really started that strong run that she had of 4, 5, 6 straight games getting double-digit kills. So I'm sure Alexa's going to be looking to set her a lot, knowing that she played well last time. Katie Swanson also was a key standout for Grace back then. She had 12 kills in that road victory, and then Novotny kind of led the way defensively like she always has this year with 26 digs. So it'll be interesting to see what Grace looks like tonight. The starting 6 on the floor is going to be Harrington, Mahalski, Hill, Meyer, Bell, and Novotny. So we got the 3 seniors out there to start off senior night.
Well, and I think you're right, Stephen, and you talked about it with Gina. I think Gina's really progressed game after game, getting better on the defensive end. And we've talked about this before. If we can stay in system, you know, run an offense, stay in system, get good passes, Lexi can do a lot with that, and I think that really helps us.
So Nicole Flickinger is going to start the game for Huntington with a serve. A back set there from Hill goes to Harrington for the first kill of the game.
That's always a great start when you can see Gabby get involved like that from the right side and be able to put the ball away. It's always really good to see.
Another thing to note about this Lancer lineup is you saw Gabby Harrington on the right side there. Oftentimes she splits time with Corinne Elker, but Corinne Elker is going to be out tonight with a bruised ab. So that's the second ab injury we've had from the Lancers team. I know Deb Mahalski is still battling one there. So you wonder if that goes from the lifting program or maybe they're just swinging too much in practice. I mean, it's coming from the hitters that have been getting hurt.
Yeah. And again, it's good to have Anna back too. That's something
definitely.
that wasn't in the lineup, I don't think, against Huntington last time. And so having Anna in the rotation, I think is going to be a plus for us.
Elaine Breedensteyer on the serve there as Alexa Hill sets outside to fellow senior Deb Mahalski. Harrington this time goes for a tip, and that's going to result in a kill as well. So both points for the Lancers thus far coming off the hands of Gabby Harrington.
Yeah, and again, good adjustment by Gabby. You know, at times we've said that about our hitters. You know, they'll hit really well and they'll come back and hit right back into the block. You know, and not really pay attention, to what's going on. And so great adjustment by Gabby to be able to get the point.
So Emily Sharp's going to be back to serve now for the Lancers. And a swing there coming from Taya Bynum, who got a kill there. So she had a great game actually when Grayson Huntington played the first time at Huntington. I think she hit a ridiculous percentage. Over 80% of her swings were kills. So
that's amazing.
She didn't play in the first few sets of that match and then came on strong in the last couple. So that's going to be a service error there from Jenny Takasik.
Yeah, it's always good when you got somebody coming off the bench and they contribute like that. You know, as a coach, you're always like, yeah, you probably keep them in the game and keep feeding them.
And
feed them when they're hot.
You kind of seen how she's solidified her spot in that lineup as she got the start here tonight. So Grace Irwin back to serve there. Takasik's going to have to run to the back row for a set, and then Paige Eckrite there swings and gets blocked by Hill and Lockmuller.
We talked about that intensity, right? You get a block, great defensive play like that. It always gets the girls excited. It's amazing to me because even after a great hit, they're excited. But when they block it like that, they get pretty jacked up.
It's always like the defense always kind of brings that intensity out of you. You almost get more excited after a big stop than the big kill.
Yep.
So Jaden Block there goes cross court right at Eckrite. A little give and go action from Eckrite. Goes back row to Grace Irwin. Jaden Block goes down the line. You see her do that often, finding the open spots on the floor, and Grace is going to have an awesome opportunity here. Hill trying to take advantage herself and sends it over to the net as Arian Butler is going to bump set it over to Paige. Eckrite's going to get another chance here, and that block from Lockmuller has been present so far in the first 6 points of this ballgame, and Jaden Block with the off-speed kill.
Yeah, and that's something that, I don't know how many times we've talked about it this year, but that's with Jaden, she has really grown into that hitter spot, stepping up, taking advantage of her opportunities. She's great at finding the open spot. And again, we even saw this last week. She's starting to swing harder, more confidence, and, it's been doing a great job.
Anna Lewis on the attack there down the middle was put back from Lockmuller, and then Eckrite's going to get her first kill of the game on a roll shot.
Yeah, that's something that we saw on our side, that she kept hitting into the block, and then she decided maybe I ought to try to roll it over and find a hole somewhere.
Paige Eckrite, now back to serve, leads the Foresters lineup with 395 kills this season. She's really solidified herself as the main offensive attack. That ball's going to be blocked back by Lewis, and Jaden Block's going to have another chance there. Takasik now with a set to the back row, and Michaela Lockmuller's there again.
Wow. Yeah, and I know they last game, I didn't get to see it all because I had to go over to Isaac's football game, but again, they tried to set out of the back row with Paige like that, and there for a while, it's something we missed, but maybe in the scouting report they're saying, hey, we don't want to let that happen again.
Yeah, and you definitely have felt Lockmuller's presence at the net so far. She's got a hand on plenty of balls blocking. That's going to be a point there for Grace as Takasik was in the net. So Grace is going to have the early lead here in the first set, 7-3.
Yeah, that's something that's always frustrating, but we love it on our side. Let them make the errors, those unforced errors like that. But as a coach, that kind of stuff drives you crazy.
So the serve was back there to Butler, and then Eckrite again with the back row attack. Jaden Block on the swing there. The ball was blocked by Taya Bynum, but it's going to be blocked out of bounds. So that's going to lead us to our first time out of the evening as Coach Kelsey Herber is going to have to take a timeout for the Foresters. So Grace leads 8-3. You're listening to Grace College Volleyball.
My coaching philosophy is to develop young women of excellence who glorify Christ through sport. So that's kind of what we want to focus on as a member of our Grace Volleyball team. We want to be competitive in everything we do. We want to be competing on the court, in the classroom, and then just constantly bettering ourselves and competing with ourselves to have a better relationship with Christ. In our specific program related to volleyball, you see how much my team loves each other and enjoys each other, and we're pumped about each other's success. And then I think throughout just the other sports teams, throughout the whole campus, it really does have a family dynamic, which ultimately, when you're going away to college, that's what you want. You want to feel supported and encouraged, not just by your teammates, but by your faculty and staff. One of our missions, too, as a coach.
Welcome back and good evening, Lancer fans. You're here at the MOCC in Wino Lake, Indiana, as the Grace Lancers are taking on the Huntington Foresters. Gina Novotny is back to serve still for Grace as they lead 8-3 early in this match. Novotny coming off a 29-dig performance versus Marion this past Saturday, Mike, and that was one of her best performances all year long.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier. I think Gina has grown. In the beginning, I think Coach was trying to find lineups. They went out, they had some injury issues in the beginning, and they were trying to find what lineup works, and that was tough. I mean, they were switching liberos 3 times a game sometimes, and now that she's found her spot, and I think as a player, confidence is such a big thing, especially when you're playing in the back row like that.
So Anna Lewis is going to get the kill there, the freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina. She was homeschooled in high school, so a strong right side attack there from Lewis that results in a kill. Junior Arian Butler back to serve. Butler and Alexa Hill on the opposing team were actually teammates back in high school at Huntington North High School. So Hill there, back set to Michaela Bell. Strong cross-court swing picked up by Takasik. A roll shot there coming from number 14, Brandy Mikey. And then Grace now has another opportunity here as Hill goes outside, and Jaden Block's going to get a kill off the deflection.
Yeah, I think it's good to see Michaela in there. I think she adds a lot to the team when she's swinging well and has confidence, and because I think she has a great blocking presence when she's on. I think she does a great job.
6-point lead for the Lancers as Hill is now back to serve. Butler's going to come up to take the serve there, and a strong cross-court swing coming from Lindsay Inganito. And once again, Jaden Block, a kill on that half-speed, mid-speed, change-up type hit, and it results for another kill. So Grace up 11-4.
Yeah, I don't think we could say enough about that. I've been impressed all year of how she finds the holes.
Alexa, a strong serve there that Huntington had trouble handling, and a free ball is going to go over the net. So Hill's going to go outside to block again, and that's been a connection that has worked so far thus far tonight.
Yeah, as a setter like that, and you find somebody that's finding the holes and doing a good job, you can't help but keep feeding them.
And so Coach Herber is going to have to take her second timeout early here in this first set. So the Foresters will be without timeouts the remainder of the set, but we'll take another break here as Grace leads 12-4. Good evening and welcome back, Lancer fans. Grace off to an early 12-4 lead here in the first set. I'm Stephen Halstead with my co-host Mike Hill. Alexa Hill on a serving run right now, and I'm sure this is a proud moment for you as you're watching your daughter play in her last home match here in the Manhattan Orthopedic Capital Center.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we were talking to Lexi while we were out there, and you always want to end well. You know what I mean? It's your last game in your home court, and that might not be the one.
And that was
Steven put the jinx on her.
And that was not the plan, as Alexa, with a misserve short, actually hits teammate Michaela Bell in the back of the head.
Wow.
Yeah, she's still laughing about it there.
Yeah.
As Huntington now goes back to serve, it's going to be Josephine Rammel. Hill now with a cleaner set there to Harrington than the serve there. And Takasik's going to go to the outside there. Block presence there from Bell, and she's going to swing and attack on two. A back set there. That ball's picked up by Hill, and Novotny's going to go to the right side to Harrington. Takasik now going to go back row to Paige Eckwright. We've seen her do that multiple times already just here in the first set. Harrington now, third swing on this possession, and Takasik picks it up. And I believe Grace is going to be in the net there. Gabby Harrington's going to get called for it. Brandy Mickey was the one attacking there multiple times from the outside for the Foresters. And that's going to be Rammel, that's going to get the ace.
Yeah, that was one of those, I'm not sure what to do with that one.
Rammel again on the serve. Irwin has trouble with it again. And then Harrington's going to go and tip it. Takasik going to go back row to her go-to girl, Paige Eckrite. Novotny going to free ball it over as the Foresters have a great opportunity here. They run a loop there to Ingenito. Now Harrington's going to be coming attacking for Grace. Takasik going for the tip there, and she's going to pick up the kill. And that's something that she brings that you see some setters do it more than others. But Jennings Takaso really likes to attack when she's up there at the net.
Is she a lefty?
It looks like that looks
that
natural to her.
That looked pretty natural.
So another ace going to be there for the Foresters, as Rummel now has 2 aces in this service run. So this Grace lead now cut to just 3 as Rammel continues to serve here. Novotny has trouble with that as Hill has to keep it out of the net. And a rare occasion there where you see Harrington hitting from the outside. I believe that ball is going to hit the antenna there, and that's correct, as Ingenito is going to have the hitting air.
Yeah, that was the one thing you needed, because I was thinking this might be a time to take a timeout. You know, when the tide's turning like that, it's nice to be able to see them make the mistake and hopefully be able to turn the tide and go the other direction.
Jaden Block back to serve, the freshman for Grace. Takasik going to go with a beautiful back set there to Ingenito. Senior Deb Mahalski with the beautiful roll shot, but Huntington's able to pick it up.
Oh, wow.
And what a shot there coming from Brandy Mickey.
Yeah, that was just one of those ones you thought you had the point, got it down, and then they just come back with a great shot.
Yeah, Mickey had a great cross-court shot there, and we talked about Block reading the defense earlier. You saw Brandy Mickey do that there as well. So back to the first rotation now for the Foresters, as Nicole Flickinger is back to serve. She goes right at senior Deb Mahalski, and Hill goes to Michaela Bell. Ball's picked up by libero Arian Butler, and that ball is going to be tipped out deep as the air is going to go to Paige Eckrite. Michaela Bell back to serve now. She missed a few games 4 or 5 games ago with knee injury, so it's nice to see her well and healthy. And you see Takasik there with the strong left-handed swing. Yeah, I would have to agree, Mike. That looks pretty natural.
Yeah, she looks like she's pretty good with her left hand. So something that, I mean, as a coach, when you call a timeout, that might be something you're thinking about saying, hey, you know, that's twice in a row now. We need to be thinking about that happening more often.
And one spot you'll see her tip to is often where the setter is for Grace, where Alexa Hill's in that back right corner, is often her point of attack. So Takasik goes right to Bynum, who puts the ball down.
And you talked about that earlier in the game where they met the first time, how great of a game she had, and she's picking it right back up there.
Yeah, Grace will definitely have to key in on blocking her, especially with this rotation with Takasik in the front row for the Foresters. Breedensteiner back to serve there for the Foresters. Give and go action between Mahalski and Hill for the kill.
Great for Deb. I mean, she spent a lot of time hurt this year and battling back injuries. Senior night, it's great to be able to come back and get a kill and play well.
Yeah, Mahalski's had a strong senior year. It's her first year hitting outside consistently, and she already has 153 kills. Last year you saw her in the lineup more in the defensive specialist role where she exceeded very well there. Eckrite with the perfect roll shot, and that drops between all 6 Lancers.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it earlier. You know, Paige kept hitting into the block, and we were there and be able to do it, and she made the adjustment. We're just going to have to make that same adjustment and cover that hole.
Yeah, last time these two teams played, Eckrite had 17 kills to lead the Foresters, and she's off to a good start here tonight. Sharp's having trouble with the serve there, and I believe that's going to be charted as an ace.
Yeah, that's really been the difference in the game. We just haven't been able to pass, you know, because once we were passing and running the offense, they're having a hard time to stop it. We're just having a hard time getting the ball up.
So Takasik, another serve, goes right back at Sharp, who has trouble with it again. Mahalski going cross court, and the block there was from Bynum. And they go to Eckrite on the outside, and Hill's able to get a piece of it. Oh, what a beautiful effort play there coming from Arian Butler as Hill tries to do it herself. Eckrite now, cross-court attack right at Novotny. Hill's going to the outside of Mahalski, And this long rally continues. Mahalski again with the tip, and Bynum there landed from her jump on the block and just stuck her hand up, and it looked like she didn't have much control on the tip there.
Yeah, good job, Deb. I mean, she got, came back and changed it up a little bit and caught him off guard.
Yeah, Bynum there, we spoke on her double jump there. She leads the Foresters with 57 blocks on the season, so definitely look to see her presence there when she's in the game. That's going to hit the antenna and be out of bounds for Grace Point. So Grace Irwin continues to serve for Grace. Freshman from East Noble High School. She goes right at Butler in that back left corner, and Dekasik's going to go all the way cross court. And Eckwright tried to pull out her tool bag and have a nice little finesse shot there, but it's going to just miss.
Yeah, when she went to hit that, I'm like, that thing's going in. I couldn't believe it that she could get it across and down, but luckily it kept sailing.
And you often see that from many teams, outside hitters. They have a variety of shots. They bring out all their arsenal because they see different blocks all year long. So Eckwright this time going with a power attack, but the block was present for the Grace Lancers. Speaking of present, Bynum's going to put it right back for a block kill.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be important for us to be able to run some different looks for our middles to be able to get them going, because when Michaela Lockmueller's on, that means a big difference for the team.
And one key thing from that first matchup when the Lancers and Foresters played, and that's going to be another ace from Huntington, is the way these rotations matched up last time. Lockmueller and Bynum were never in the game at the same time. So you had Lockmueller have that field day without the big blocking attack of Bynum. So back-to-back aces for the Foresters, and just like that, this Grace lead has dwindled down to 1. But you love to see the matchup now with Lockmueller and Bynum. I mean, two great middle hitters matching up with each other. Coaches knowing that they can't give either an advantage without having one on the floor. So Jaden Block there on the attack. And Dekasik with the back set to Lewis, and that was close.
Yeah, that was close.
It almost looked like Lewis dropped that right on the line, right in front of the Kessler's Court sign over there.
Right.
But instead, that's going to stop the Foresters' run, and Novotny's now back to serve. Novotny, a strong serve going at Eckwright in the back row as Dekasik goes all the way across court to get it. Michaela Bell, a strong swing, and that ball's picked up by Eckwright. Tough angle here for Lewis. And she didn't have much she could do with that one. She had to try to hit that sharp across court.
Well, and I think that's, like we talked about earlier, having Michaela Bell being able to swing like that and having her blocking presence, I think that's a huge thing for Grace.
Another strong serve there and a back set to Lewis. Oh, Jaden Block was there and got a hand on it, but didn't have her hands over the net enough to put it back to the Forester side.
Yeah, right place, just didn't get the hands over.
So I'm sure Coach Herber is glad with how these Foresters have battled back in the first set, as Grace built an 8-point lead early in the set, and now Huntington trails by just 2. Dekasik goes to her outside Mickey, and Hill now going to have to jump up and set it across. Some miscommunication there from the Foresters, and it's going to result in a Grace point.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating when the two players are looking at each other talking and the ball's going to drop.
Yeah, we mentioned that last game. If two players ever make eye contact in the middle of the point, it's usually bad, especially on the defensive side.
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
Hill this time.
Didn't hit anybody.
Much better serve than last time. Keeps Michaela Bell not injured. But it's going to result into a Huntington point. Hill came in tonight with nearly 4,500 assists in her career and 1,329 digs. So strong career thus far for the senior setter out of Huntington. And she's going to add to that assist number there as Michaela Bell is going to pick up the kill.
Yeah, and again, back to what we were talking about earlier. If we can get the pass, I mean, it's a difference in the game. I mean, a lot of what the Huntington's got done is not that they've run a stronger offense or caught us off guard. They just ace us, or we're unable to get the passes up.
Yeah, Grace had a string of aces there at the beginning of the set. Now Foresters have had a strong time there. So Harrington's going to pick up the kill. And Grace now has a 4-point lead as they lead 23-19 here in the first set. One thing to know, Coach Herber doesn't have any more timeouts as she spent them both early on in the set. So if Grace can continue with this momentum, they could close out the first set. A good opportunity here. Novotny with the bump set as Michalski has to relocate to pick it up. Takasik with that left-hand tip. You've seen it multiple times thus far. She's looking to attack when she's up in the front row. Back set to Harrington with a strong swing as that ball is picked up by Lauren Nagel. Novotny on the dig. Hill going to Bell as Bell has another strong swing there. Takasik to the outside to Mickey as Harrington got a hand on it, and Hill had no one to set there but Harrington, who wasn't really in place yet.
Right.
So you saw Michalski go to the ground. Hill looks around and realized she only had one option, and that was Harrington, who just got done blocking at the net.
Right. Yeah, good hustle, good up. Yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate things when you don't have anybody left to set it to.
So senior Caroline Meyer back in the game. She has 293 digs thus far this season, her senior season, and 472 in her career. And a unique situation for there as fellow senior Deb Michalski is going to pick up the kill. Unique situation with Caroline is that she actually didn't play for 2 years out of high school and then joined the Lancers team last year and has found herself in the rotation ever since.
Yeah, that's tough to sit out of a game that long and then be able to come back and play at a competitive level.
So the roll shot kill going to go to Eck right there as Grace clings to this 3-point lead as they have set point. Elaine Breedensteiner back to serve as she's going to try to continue this set as long as she can. Breedensteiner's serve goes at Michalski, who has trouble receiving it. Novotny goes back to Michalski, and she wasn't able to get her feet set. So oftentimes you've seen that with the Grace outside hitters this year, is when they have trouble getting their feet set, they tend to hit the ball deep there. So Coach Katie Van Hofwegen's going to have to take her first time out of the match as Grace leads 24-22 in the first set, and will return after this short break. Welcome back. Stephen Halstead here with my co-host Mike Hill. Grace clinging to a 24-22 lead here in the first set, and they're just trying to close it out. This is going to be their second set point here as Breedensteiner continues her service run. And you want to see what Coach Katie Van Hofwegen drew up in that timeout to close the set here. They go at Michalski again, and they go to Michaela Lockmiller down the middle, and she's going to close it. So in situations like that, you look great as a coach when you use the timeout and you get to draw up exactly what you want, take all the pressure off the team as maybe they felt that Huntington momentum gaining. But they called the timeout and were able to win the first set there, 25-22. So Grace takes the first set. We'll take a timeout here in the booth and return for the second set of action.
My coaching philosophy is to develop young women of excellence who glorify Christ through sport. So that's kind of what we want to focus on as a member of our Grace volleyball team. We want to be competitive in everything we do. We want to be competing on the court, in the classroom, and then just constantly bettering ourselves and competing with ourselves to have a better relationship with Christ. In our specific program related to volleyball, you see how much my team loves each other and enjoys each other, and we're pumped about each other's success. And then I think throughout just the other sports teams, throughout the whole campus, it really does have a family dynamic, which ultimately when you're going away to college, that's what you want. You want to feel supported and encouraged, not just by your teammates, but by your faculty and staff. One of our missions too as a coaching staff is to be the type of people we needed when we were 20 years old. So that for us, that means developing your volleyball game, but also developing your character and just kind of going through life with you. We kind of have a saying, means no offense, takes no offense, which means our players get kind of freedom to hold you accountable to and to be pushing you, because we think that when the team is driving it, it says a lot more than when the coaching staff is. Volleyball's not going to be the only thing you're excellent here at. We're going to push you in all areas so that you're making the most of every opportunity you have at Grace.
Welcome back. Stephen Halstead here with my co-host Mike Hill. Grace was able to take the first set 25-22. Mike, what were some of the key points that you saw for the Lancers there?
Well, again, once we started to pass the ball, I mean, it all started to unravel. You know, they started serving. And again, not that they weren't tough serves, but we couldn't figure any way about even to get the ball up.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even that, you know, they were bad passes. We were struggling just to get the ball up. But again, when we stayed in system and they ran their offense, I think Huntington had a hard time stopping them. I mean, that to me was the momentum shift. Once we could finally pass the ball and be able to get it, you know, where it needed to be, I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, you touched on the serving there for the Foresters. Josephine Rammel had 3 straight aces in a row there. So you saw the Foresters kind of claw their way back into that game as they trailed by 8 at one point there in the first set and actually forced Grace to take a timeout there late just to close the first set. So senior Caroline Meyer is going to be back to serve for Grace to begin the second set. The 6 on the floor for Grace is going to be Meyer, Hill, Bell, Harrington, Mahalski, and Novotny. And one thing you've noticed is that you touched on it earlier. It was nice to have Anna Fry back on Saturday. You haven't seen her play just yet tonight, so you wonder to see if Coach Van Hofwegen will put her in again tonight. Some miscommunication there as Paige Eckrite wasn't able to jump up and get that set coming from Takasik, and it's going to result in the Lancers getting the first point of the second set.
Yeah, that's always helpful. I mean, Huntington had quite a few unforced errors in the first game like that, and so always great on the other side, but as a coach, that kind of stuff drives you crazy.
So the serve goes at Butler, and Takasik, we saw her do it often that first set. It was something in the scouting report for Grace, as she loves the tip to that back left corner. Thankfully for Grace that time, it was just wide. Takasik, a junior from Albion, Indiana, has had a very strong year leading this Foresters offense. A back set there to Ingenito, but that's not going to get over the net. So Grace with a 3-0 run to start the second set, just like they did in the first set. They built an early lead and were able to maintain it that whole first set.
Yeah, that's like deja vu, right? I mean, the same way the last game started or last set started.
So Meyer again with the serve. Takasik going to Eckrite. The roll shot that time picked up from Mahalski. And Michaela Bell, you see everybody just kind of tipping it at the net now. And Harrington takes a strong swing for a kill.
Yeah, it's great to see Gabby get involved like that. And again, when she gets on a run, Gabby does a great job hitting from that right side.
Yeah, very impressive. You saw her on Saturday play that full rotation in the first set, as she is naturally a setter from high school, but has kind of formed to that right side hitter this year and has done so very well. Hill going to go to Michaela Bell that time as she swings strong. And a diving effort there from Laura Nagel is going to be no good. So Grace now leads 5-0 in the second set. And just like that, Coach Kelsey Herber is going to have to use another early timeout in the set, and we'll take a timeout here in the booth as well as Grace leads 5-0 in the second set. Good evening and welcome back, Lancer fans. We're here in the second set as Grace has an early 5-0 lead and Coach Herber had to use an early timeout. Grace won the first set 25-22. I'm Stephen Halstead with my co-host Mike Hill as Caroline Meyer continues her service run. A strong swing there as Stakasic going to try to go back outside to Eckrite again. Hill with a one-handed set just to keep the ball out of the net, and Bell uses a great second jump to keep the ball alive. Eckrite there on the swing, and Michaela Bell gets the block.
Yeah, I think the advantage is, one of the disadvantages for Huntington is, Paige is their major hitter. So as a setter, they don't have a lot of options, to be able to go to. And so we're getting that block out really quick, to be able to get out and set up on her.
And that's Michaela Bell's 59th block of the season. And a service error for Meyer is going to halt that Lancers run. So 6-1 lead here to start the second set. And, Mike, what you were just touching on is oftentimes as that block for Grace can kind of key in where Eckrite is when they know that they don't have many other options there. So you've seen it often tonight. They try to get that middle blocker as well as the right side there to defend Eckrite.
Yeah, and this is the part of the rotation where they add in the middle hitter and adds in another element. But in that one part of the rotation, they struggle with only having one hitter up there.
As that ball is going to be passed back over to Grace's side, and Michaela Bell, I think they're going to call it in. We'll see.
What did they call?
They called it in. So from this view here, I think it could have gone either way, but you didn't see much argument coming from Coach Herber, and it landed maybe 4 feet in front of her. So it must have hit the line there, and Grace now leads 7-1.
So what we talked about the other day, it's like throwing it in the trash can, right? Like the football guy throwing it in the trash can in the back corner of the end zone.
A quick set there to Bynum up the middle. And Michaela Bell takes it with her hands. And that's going to be an assist for Bell and a kill for Harrington. And oftentimes as a coach, when someone other than their setter takes it with your hands, you're a little anxious there on the sideline. But Michaela Bell has shown time and time again in her 3 years here that she is very capable of using her hands and has multiple assists on the year just that way. Paige Eckrite with some emotion after that kill as she runs a little bit of a different route to put the Foresters back on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think that caught us a little bit off guard. We're heading out towards the pin to be able to get the block, and they just set it in closer like that, made us move, and when she had the opening like that, she can put the ball away.
Takasic with a little quicker of a set there, as now she's going to go and set her right side, Lewis, and Lina does a great job in the back row just keeping that ball alive. So Takasic now going to Bynum, who slaps at it a little bit, and that's going to end up landing in for the Lancers. So after Bynum tipped it over, I believe it's Mahalski just digged it, and there just stood Bynum and Lewis assuming it was going to land out, and it hit on the line.
Yeah, Kelsey, Huntington's coach, standing there looking at it, and when it went in, she just turned around and looked the other way. That's frustrating.
One thing is, you never saw any Forrester make any movement. They just almost assumed that it wasn't landing in. Bynum on a loop there. And Meyer's going to pick up the dig. Mahalski with a lone block there, but I believe that just hit the tape. So that ball never got over the net, and Huntington gets the point. So Huntington now trails 3-9 early in this second set.
Yeah, again, from a Grace standpoint, this is the time. This is where you had him last game, right? So don't allow the momentum to shift. Again, as a team moving into tournament play, this is where you want to be able to turn some of that stuff around and not let the momentum go away and actually put a team away.
A strong attack there from Meyer in the back row was picked up from Butler, and Lewis is going to end up with a kill. One standout player for the Foresters this year has been their libero, Arian Butler. She comes into the night with 569 digs. She had a game of 48 digs, which is just unheard of. It's almost as if the highest for the Lancers has been the low 30s, and that was in a 5-set thriller, as Bynum isn't able to get the ball back over the net, and Grace now leads 10-4.
Yeah, Arian's quick. I mean, she can get to a lot of balls and has good body control being athletic like that. And she can't, not that she just gets to them, she gets to them and puts them where they need to be.
Yes, definitely makes Jennings Takasik's job a little easier as the setter up at the net. So we mentioned her earlier tonight. Anna Fry now checking in for the first time tonight is Paige Eckwright on a back row attack. Michaela Lockmuller with a strong swing, but she didn't get all of it that time, as it looked like a little misconnection there as she put the ball out deep. And oftentimes when you see that bang-bang, it's either results in a Lockmuller kill around the 10-foot line, or sometimes they don't get the connection like they had there.
Right. I think it's good to see Anna in the back row because she can hit out of the back row.
Yes, she
I mean,
can.
That's something we haven't used with her being gone, but she can hit out of the back row really well.
And Jaden Block, we've spoke about her confidence that she's gained more and more as the season's progressed with a strong kill there. And Mike, what you were just speaking on, Anna Fry being able to be in that back row, it kind of gives you the option that Player of the Year Kaylee Teal did last year. Not saying Anna has to fill those type of shoes or anyway her freshman year, but it gives the option, as that's going to be a hitting error from Lewis, and Grace leads by 7 again.
Yeah, I just think that's a great option. I mean, you can change things up like that and be able to hit out of the back row. And when Anna did it earlier in the year before she got hurt, I mean, she would put the ball away.
Yeah, it definitely makes the defense and especially the block up front be a little more conscious of all the possible hitting options. So Lewis is going to get the kill there. Lewis came in tonight with just 76 kills on the year and has been playing well as of late. One interesting note for the Lancers, and we've talked about all the entries they've had all year, specifically at the hitting position, they have 8 players with over 100 kills, and Jaden Block is one of them. So, I mean, talk about players being able to step up and fill a role. Not many teams in the country would you see have 8 players that have had to fill, and then not only fill but also produce, as 8 of them over triple-digit kills.
Yeah, I mean, again, as a team being able to, when they had so many injuries earlier in the season, they were trying to find, that outside hitter. A lot of them stepped up and again, have been continually getting better.
Yeah, the only hitter they're going to lose this season out of the 8 with 100 kills is going to be senior Deb Mahalski. So you'll lose senior setter Alexa Hill. That'll give you sets like that there. And Eckwright with a strong back row attack. But the hitting experience is going to be there next year for the young Lancers. Takasik going to Mickey there, and some miscommunication as Hill went for it for a second, and then Jaden Block on the attack there. Mickey was waiting under the net to pick it up, but wasn't able to get her hands under it, and it's going to result in a kill for Grace.
Yeah, again, we can't say enough about Jaden. She's done a great job.
So that's going to result in Coach Herber taking her second time out here in the second set. Grace ties their biggest lead of the second set with 8 points here as they lead 14-6. You're watching Grace College Volleyball. Good evening and welcome back, Lancer fans. I'm honored to be joined by a special guest here tonight. I have on air with us Brady Hill, Alexa Hill's older brother. And Brady, I just have to ask, should we credit you for Alexa's very successful career here at Grace?
I wouldn't credit me with all of it, but I would say at least 90%. Because being only 1 year apart, you have a lot of time where you spend together, and she helped me with a lot of football stuff, so in turn I helped her with a lot of volleyball stuff. About 3 times a week we had our regiment going on, right after school, right after practice, we'd go get our extra work in.
As Hill's there now back to serve. And Brady, you know, you love to see that. And oftentimes you see from that older brother scenario, you make your younger siblings a lot tougher. And I would definitely say you've instilled that in Alexa. She's one of the toughest players out here on the Lancer floor as Harrington picks up the kill.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things in the Hill household that we hang our hat on is our competitive spirit. And so being the oldest in the family, that has to be instilled down, starting with Lexi along with the 6 other siblings that we have. And there's a lot of things that are important to us, and winning is definitely one of the most important.
And Hill's going to pick up the ace there. And Brady, I would love to see you kind of mention that you helped Alexa with volleyball, but you also said Alexa helped you with football. What exactly did that look like? What kind of player would Alexa be on a football field?
See, I think Lexi would be a very good football player. If you watch her play volleyball, she's very aggressive, she's very competitive, she loves to win. And those are everything you love to see in a really good football player. You love to see that drive and that competitive spirit. So I think Lexi would be a really good, maybe a D end, I think. She relentless motor, relentless drive, do anything she could to get to the quarterback. I think she'd do a great job on the football field.
So Lancer Nation, you've heard it here first. If Alexa goes into a football playing career after this year, she's going to be a defensive end, according to her brother. Brady, it was an honor having you on tonight.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
So Grace now leads 16-8 here in the second set as Grace maintains onto this 8-point lead. They've had it multiple times here. And that serve coming from Flickinger in that deep left corner as Michaela Bell with the swing. Takasik picks it up with one hand and puts it back over the net. So an athletic play from Takasik, and now Huntington with a chance to put it away. That ball's picked up from Anna Fry in the back row. And Jaden Block's going to put it away there. And you saw Alexa Hill make a great decision there. She put it to Block, who only had one defender in front of her.
Yeah, again, and finding that line shot. You know, when you're lining it up like that, to be able to have that line shot and be able to put the ball away.
So Caroline Meyer back to serve now. She started this run here in the second set as she got the Lancers a 5-0 lead before service error. So Grace has been clinging to that lead ever since the hot start for Meyer. Back to serve. A tip there read perfectly from Novotny, and Hill goes with a back set to Harrington. And I believe that ball was actually picked up there from Ingenito, but no other Forrester was able to get to it.
And I think that's some of the difference that we've seen throughout the year, Stephen, is a lot of times we go into these games and be like, how can they keep finding all those holes? You know, they tip there or hit in that back corner. I think in the last game against Marion, you're even seeing it here against Huntington, we're covering better in some of those holes.
And Novotny takes a shot there and keeps the ball alive. She had a handful of those on Saturday versus Marion as Hill reads Takasik's tip perfectly. Harrington now a strong swing, and that's going to be no touch and out deep.
And that's good to see. I mean, in the first game, you know, the setter for Huntington had, 3 kills. We caught us off guard, but that adjustment's been made, it looks like, and they're picking that up now, and they weren't in that first game.
And that's a responsibility for Alexa there to go and cover that area, which is often hard as a setter, knowing that you're going to go up and block and contest, but then also going to have to go back and cover, as Bynum with the strong block there.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that we've talked about all year long is Deb's got a great, strong swing. And when she can push through that block, it's great. But every once in a while, when they get 2 people set up on her like that, she's going to have to use some of her other shots to be able to get around them.
And Michaela Bell with a strong swing there and an almost perfect pass back up to the net. So Mahalski there uses another shot that you were just speaking of and is going to get a kill from it.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, the adjustment that Deb's made throughout the year. I mean, in the beginning she was hitting, you know, and hitting right into the block, and then she'd go right back into it again. So making that adjustment, you know, and being able to get that tip. So great job by Deb.
So Grace maintains a 9-point lead here in the second set. They've been in control since the beginning of this second set as Eckwright there goes with a strong tip, and Grace is going to have to scramble just to get the ball back over. So Takazik going to Bynum, and Hill gets a hand on it somehow, and they're able to keep this ball alive. Eckwright now goes cross court. That ball's picked up from Caroline Meyer, and Mahalski now with a strong tip herself down the line. Takazik, an over-the-head tip, and this long rally continues. Another opportunity here for Huntington. Eckwright going cross court, and she's going to result in a kill.
Yeah, and we saw that, you know, when they do that quick set to Bynum in the middle like that, that's a tough one to stop. You know, when you run your quick offense like that and she can get up, hard to get a block on it. But again, good to see the intensity from the Lancer players.
So Takasic back to serve now, as Mahalski's going to have an overpass, and no better way for Paige Eckwright to get going than a little confidence booster like she had right there. It's almost like as a basketball player, just getting to the free throw line, just seeing the ball go in. Sometimes as a hitter in those scenarios, it just helps build that momentum.
So she is a lefty.
Yeah, Takasic is a lefty. We can confirm. She has a service error there, and Grace leads by 8, 20-12 here in the second set as Emily Sharp goes back to serve for the Lancers. And you start to look at this Lancers lineup and you start thinking about next year and the juniors that are going to become these seniors and what this night's going to look like for them next year. And Emily Sharp's going to be one of those seniors next year. So Mahalski does everything she can to keep the ball alive. And Eckwright with a strong swing there. Bynum has another opportunity there. And somehow Grace keeps this ball alive. So Takasic to Lewis on her right side. And the long rally continues. The Lancers doing everything to keep this ball alive that Bynum kept trying to put away and finally was able to. And that's just an effort play from both sides.
That's one of those rallies where all you see is arms swinging. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like all over the place trying to get the ball up.
Yeah, definitely the battles at the net. And then you have the DSs and setters coming in just trying to fill those tips. And oftentimes it's not a pretty dig as it's going to be a service error from Eckwright. But sometimes those digs are just a flail of the arm to keep the ball alive.
And it tends to be this big pile up. You know what I mean? All of they start running over the top of each other.
So you'll see Anna Fry. She's been playing in the back row here in the second set. Something that's so valuable from an outside hitter that can pass so well is that coaches have the opportunity to play her in the back row as a designated passer. So Novotny with a dig. And Takasic going to Bynum. And that connection continues to work. So Bynum, only a freshman out of North Central High School in Indianapolis, Indiana, and she continues to build on her strong freshman season.
Yeah, like I said, when they run their offense quick like that, that's just hard to stop. I mean, to be able to get the blockers in position and be able to get a touch on it.
Arian Butler with the serve there, and we can confirm she is also left-handed, as the libero had a left-handed serve there. So Hill's going to set the back row, Anna Fry. That connection that we kind of talked about earlier, they didn't have it that time. And Fry with a tremendous dig to keep the ball alive. Jaden Block with a harder swing. Hill set her, but she wasn't even there yet, so it's going to result in a Hill attack. Butler setting Mickey behind her, and Novotny's just racking up the digs this point. Jaden Block swings there, and Lewis lets out a scream afterwards as she was able to pick up the block kill.
And that's something you hardly ever see Jaden do. Like, she hardly ever hits right into the block like that.
So Grace just needs 4 points here to claim the second set. They lead 21-15 as Butler continues to serve. A back set there to Michaela Lockmuller, and that's just what the Lancers needed.
Yeah, and I think when you move Michaela around like that, again, use some of her quickness and mobility to be able to set the ball into different areas so that they can't just set the block up right in the middle.
And Gina Novotny back to serve again. And I start to wonder if she just has one red sparkle headband or if she has a handful, because they just played on Saturday as Hill uses her volleyball IQ and finds the open back corner of the court.
I think the bigger question is, does she have sparkle shoes to go with it?
She does. I can confirm that Sparkle does have sparkle shoes.
Like the Dorothy sparkle shoes?
They're silver, so it's not the exact same as Novotny with an ace there.
They're not red?
From what I've seen, silver.
Okay.
I'm sure she has more in her repertoire than just silver.
I was going to say.
Her and her mom sport the sparkle headbands at every game. It's a trademark that she's been trying to have the Crossroads League catch on to as she's serving now for set point here in the second set. Takasic going to Mickey, who tried to set that cross court, but it's going to be a double hit from her. So Grace controlled that entire second set, is going to win it 25-15. So Grace leads 2-0, and we'll return here for the third set of action.
your tour?
Yes.
Yeah. Follow me.
Welcome back, Lancer fans. Grace leads 2-0 as they took the first set 25-22, and they took the second set 25-15. And Mike, they were in control the entire time in that second set there.
Well, I think that's what we were talking about. You're getting ready to go into conference play. So what is it in this game that you need to be able to work on? And I think one of the things that we've talked about is can you carry over momentum from Marion? Can you take that scrappiness, defensive intensity that you saw against Marion in those last two sets? So that's carried over. And then also our inability throughout the years when we get big leads to be able to just put your foot on the gas and be able to keep going. And again, in this last set, you saw that. I mean, they got up, and instead of falling apart, they kept it going and piled on the lead and did a great job.
And you love to see just how far this Lancers team has come. As they started the year 2-9, you didn't really know what type of year it was going to be. As we started these broadcasts, oftentimes we just talk about how the Lancers didn't really know how to finish games. That was something they were still learning how to do. And it's awesome to see how much they've progressed now in their last regular season game as they are able to put 10-point victories and build on that. So you've seen them grow so much this year, and a lot of that has contributed to hitting and experience.
Right.
And now by the end of the year, they have 8 hitters with 100 kills on the year, and you're almost going to say that's a strong suit for the Lancers going next year. So service error for Huntington, service error for Grace to begin the third set here.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, again, if you're sitting there as a coach and you've seen the amount of players that have come in and contributed this year for Grace, that's got to give you a bright spot looking into next year.
So Mahalski with the pass and Hill with the back set to Harrington, and boom goes the dynamite. So Harrington's able to pick up the kill there, and she's going to sub out as Emily Sharp comes in to serve.
That was awesome. Boom goes the dynamite. That was good.
So Butler there with the pass, and they were trying to find Bynum there in the middle, but it's going to be Lockmuller and Hill that pick up the block.
Did we get it, or did it go back?
So we blocked it, but we blocked it onto our own side.
Yeah.
So the kill is actually going to go to Bynum there. She subs out. And Sharp with the pass, and Lockmuller with the one-footed jump is able to put the ball away. So she came down the middle that time and almost jumped as if she was running a loop.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it earlier. If you can get Michaela going, and especially from different spots, not just from the middle, running the loop, hitting from different positions like that, I think that's huge for the Lancers moving forward.
Yeah, and you always have to disguise where Michaela's going to be hitting. Because the way the Lancers have used their lineups the last couple months of the season is they have Lockmuller up there with Hill when she only has 2 hitting options. So to give her a strong middle attack, they kind of have to disguise it in a various way. So that's going to be a kill there from Lewis as the ball just slipped off Sharp's arms in the back row. So the serve back row there to Meyer. And Jaden Block, a strong cross-court swing read perfectly by Butler. Lockmuller there, and that ball's picked up from Eckrite. Eckrite gets back up on her feet and attacks from the back row. Hill there, tried to do it herself. And Mickey there with the attack from the outside. Another long rally here as Lockmuller had a tip there. Mickey now goes cross-court with a beautiful angle for the kill.
Yeah, that's just a great shot. I mean, that to be able to have that shot across like that and to angle it that hard. You know what I mean? You usually don't see him angle it that hard and be able to get it in.
Yeah, she was able to put some power on that with such a sharp angle. So Lockmuller there is going to pick up the kill. A little shake and bake action coming from Hill and Lockmuller there.
And I think that's again, seeing Michaela be able to hit from different positions. I think that's a good thing for Grace.
So they're tied here in the 4th set as Novotny's back to serve. Score 4-4. Oh, and Jaden
what
Block
just
with a
happened there?
gimme, but she missed it. So a little bit of a whammy there. She missed it and wasn't able to pick up the kill, and Huntington gets the point.
Yeah, like that was like it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming right at you, and you
Your-
just want to swing away. And
Your eyes get too big, and next thing you know, you take your eyes off the ball for a split second. It's like a receiver in football when you're wide open, and right before the pass gets to you, you take your eyes off it and drop it. So Block's able to make up for it there with the kill, as she was able to tool the block that we mentioned a few games ago from Takasik.
And I'm still trying to figure out how that word came to be. Tool the block. Somebody's going to have to explain that to us sometime.
We will have to ask someone with more volleyball knowledge than myself. I do have one season of beach under my belt as a player, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Beach
seriously,
volleyball.
and we went and watched you. You guys were pretty impressive.
We played in the B division.
It was still a lot of fun to go to Spikes and hang out and watch everybody play. That's a great environment up there. Great place to sit around and watch beach volleyball, and it was a lot of fun.
Definitely. As Breedensteiner now back to serve for the Foresters as they cling to a 6-5 lead here in the third set. Hill calls for help, and Harrington has to go at a sharp angle. And Takasik saw the Lancers defense scrambling. Another beautiful set there from Bell. Hill with the one-handed dig to keep the ball alive. So Eckrite now going to be on the attack. A roll shot picked up from Block, and that's going to be out. So Eckrite had a gift wrapped for her, presented for her right on top of the net, and she tipped it out.
Yeah, I think she thought that was in, but that was for sure out.
It was.
Yeah, I mean that.
Her reaction, I'm not sure if it was at the frustration of the call or more of the frustration at herself that she just gave up an opportunity right there at a point.
Right.
So Anna Fry, freshman out of Carroll High School. We've seen better serves than that one right there as the Foresters lead again.
And we've talked about that before. You know, you see Coach Katie go with that short serve a lot, you know, and again, it works really well, but every once in a while, that's what happens.
Yeah, Coach Katie Van Hofwegen loves to get the hitters involved in the serve receive there. Feels as if they pass there, they won't be able to get back and hit as well.
Right.
But Huntington returns the favor. So a little bit of a sloppy start here in the third set with multiple service errors for both teams as Michaela Bell uses that short serve there. Bynum with the loop there is able to pick up the kill.
And she's been a big difference for that team. She does a great job hitting from different positions like that. She gets up quick. I mean, I think that's why you can run that quick offense, too. She gets up quick and can put the ball away.
So Eckrite to serve there. Goes back at the freshman Anna Fry. Mahalski, cross court. Ball picked up by Mickey. And they go to Eckrite from the back row. So Hill going to go to Harrington on the right side. Ball picked up perfectly from Arian Butler. Grace with a great opportunity here. Hill had all three hitters up front and chose Mahalski with a single block. Bynum keeps the ball alive as Hill's going to have three options again. Michaela Lockmuller is going to pick up the kill there as Paige Eckrite thought about it for a second, and she should have went for it as that ball dropped in.
Yeah, great job by Michaela, again, being able to put that ball away. And like we talked about on the other side with Bynum, when you can get it to Michaela like that and get it up quick, it's going to be hard to stop.
So 8-8 here in the third set. Neither team has gone on a run just quite yet. As you saw the Lancers go on a run in the first and second set to build a lead and kind of play ahead the whole time. It's been back and forth here in the third set, and oftentimes you almost look for which coach has to call the timeout first. Which
Right.
team lets loose of their lead that they had and they're no longer able to stop the momentum just with play, and they have to call a timeout. So Grace on a 3-0 run right now, as Emily Sharp continues to serve. So the 5 on the floor for Grace, 6, is going to be Hill, Lockmuller, Mahalski, Novotny, Fry, and Sharp just misses the ace there as it goes just wide.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. Again, when you're serving zones like that and trying to get, hit them in some of those spots, I guess every once in a while you're just going to have to give up a point when you miss.
Yeah, you often see that from teams that try to produce points from their serves. You see a little more service errors because they're being more aggressive. So a strong swing there coming from Mahalski, and she went right between the block of Huntington there at the net.
Great to see Deb be able to hit through the block like that. Again, Deb, throughout the course of the 4 years that we've been here, to be able to see the contribution to the team, not just on the floor but off the floor, being able to keep teammates involved in the game. Deb's got great character, and it bleeds into the team.
Yeah, she's a tremendous leader, whether she's on the court or not. And I would say she was a tremendous leader even as a freshman or sophomore, as Hill had a swing attack there. And an emphatic rejection coming from Anna Fry in the front row.
And that's what we were talking about, right? Defense like that gets everybody jacked up. That's the way to get it going.
And that right there is going to force Coach Kelsey Herbert to take her first time out here in the third set. So Grace leads 12-9 here in the third set. They lead 2-0. You're watching Grace College Volleyball. Welcome back as we return here in the third set. I'm Stephen Halstead with my co-host Mike Hill. And Mike, it's with sorrow, disappointment that this is going to be our last broadcast of the year so far.
I know. I'm trying to get picked up by another team or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't imagine. My dream for my entire life was to be able to broadcast games and be able to do this. Now, I thought it might be football, but even that I get a chance to be able to go into volleyball and do this, I love doing it, and I'm really going to miss it.
I will have to reach out to the sports information director, Josh Newhart, and get all of our film, and we will be applying for multiple positions opening.
That's right.
So if you know anything, always reach out to Grace. If you think we should be back next year for any other sport, let them know. Your comments are always appreciated. So Caroline Meyer picks up the ace there, and it has been a tremendous honor being on call with you this year, Mike. It's been a lot of fun learning more about this team, learning more about other teams in the conference, and watching this Grace team grow, I think, was probably our biggest enjoyment out of all of it.
Yeah, I'm just real thankful that, Grace has allowed us the opportunity to be able to come up here and broadcast games like that. When you first ask, because we would be broadcasting from our own seats, doing it back and forth. And when you ask, hey, can we get up and do this? So it is a great honor to be able to do it. Glad that Grace has allowed us to do it. And, yeah, you're right, to be able to see Grace grow and a young team, because we didn't know. I mean, when we started the season, we both said, wow, I mean, you just don't know what to expect. A lot of freshmen, a lot of players that haven't had a lot of experience. So it's been good to watch them grow throughout the year.
And one thing that you noticed from tonight is they seem to start clicking at the right time. Yes, they're on a 4-game losing streak, but you saw glimpses of it on Saturday as Lockmuller picks up the kill, and this momentum continues to build for the Lancers. But you saw it on Saturday, that momentum start to build and the Lancers start to click a little more, and then you see it so far here in the third set. So we'll stay here through the timeout as Coach Herbert uses her last timeout of the set. But it's awesome to see the Lancers playing well at the right time, and that was something Coach Katie Van Hofwegen said at the beginning of the year. She knew they were dropping a lot of matches in those early tournaments, and one thing she emphasized to the team was, look, I want to be playing our best volleyball come late November, early November, conference tournament time, when we can make some noise. And I think that's an opportunity they have at St. Francis on Saturday.
Well, and I think now that you're somewhat healthy as a team, again, just like it is with any offense, when you get your starters back, take some time to get the rhythm going. But I think, volleyball is so much about rhythm. And if you can, you're setting the same people. You got, you're used to the way the passes come off from the people that are playing defense, and I think that's such a big key. And I think they've found that lineup that's really worked for them, and so I think that that's also been really helpful.
Yeah, the Lancers are 9-8 in conference thus far. A win tonight will put them at 10-8. They were predicted fourth in the conference, which I think was more of a tribute to their success last season. That's often how the preseason conference rankings go. But really only returned Alexa Hill, Gina Novotny, and Michaela Lockmuller of consistent rotation players. So They lost so many hitters last year. We came to this year knowing hitting would be an inexperience, and now by the end of the year, we think hitting is one of our biggest strong points of the team.
Yeah, I think we've said that throughout the season. I mean, hitting, everybody's really stepped up and done a great job. We just got to, continue to get better passing and playing defense.
So Meyer continues her service run, and you've seen that multiple times tonight. She's been able to lead the Lancers with her strong serve. So Eckwright going to tip there, and once again it's going to be wide, and this Grace lead balloons to 8.
Yeah, and that's frustrating coming out of a timeout like that. And again, yeah, I mean, Paige, great player like that, does a great job. Just unfortunate for her, like that you put the ball out on the tip.
And Caroline Meyer trying to drop it in that bucket that we talked about earlier, misses just long there in the back right corner.
Have you ever seen a quarterback do that when they're warming up?
Yes.
Like throw into that back. That's impressive.
You would think if you put a bucket out there for Alexa to set into, that you could kind of see that result as well. Anna Fry now hitting in the front row for the first time. You wonder if this is in preparation for Saturday as a hitting air for Mickey, as the St. Francis Cougars have yet to see Anna Fry in any match. So you almost wonder if Coach Katie's kind of keeping that in her back pocket, knowing that's something they haven't seen this year, as St. Francis has been able to sweep the Lancers in both matchups they've had thus far. The overpass there is actually going to result into a point for Huntington, as Grace wasn't prepared up at the net.
I think we should just tried to whack that thing. You know what I mean? They were just trying to tip it around up there. I thought somebody should have just reared back and hit it.
It almost looked like Takasik was going to tip it, didn't get up there in time, and that just kind of halted Fry and Bell to even go after it. So Hill going to go to the freshman Fry outside, and she's going to get the kill.
And I think it's great for Anna to get confidence going into St. Francis. You know what I mean? To get some of those swings and feel good. Because we noticed even when she came into the Marion game, you got to knock some of the rust off.
Yeah. And you notice that she played the first 11 games of the year. She applied for a medical redshirt as she battled that concussion, but played too many games. It didn't get approved. She got cleared, and she's like, Coach, I want to play. I don't want to sit out the rest of this year, even if we only have a week or two left.
Right.
So, I mean, it's been awesome to see her back in this lineup. And you start to play the what-if game, which is never good as a coach.
Right.
You sit there and be like, man, what if she was healthy all year? But you got to be thankful that she's healthy at this time of the year and take the most advantage of it. So Grace leads now 19-12 here in the third set. They lead 2-0, and that's going to be an ace coming there from Elaine Bredensteiner.
I think just Anna was unsure where to be on that because they have her over here in a pretty tight corner, and it just so happens they got to serve right to her.
Yeah, it's almost as a coach, you're trying to disguise where you put your passers in the back row. Like, do you want to tempt them to get the line there to serve at Anna? As you see Gabby Harrington come up the middle there, and that's going to be another point for Huntington. So slowly but surely, the Forsters keep crawling back into this Lancers lead.
And I think that's good to see, though. I mean, again, we don't see Gabby hit in that position that often from the right side, being able to come around like that and hit towards the middle.
Yeah, it's definitely this specific rotation where you see her start. And Anna Fry disguises her route up the middle that time, and it's going to be out. So it's one thing you love to see coaches do, and you see all the great coaches do it. We saw Van Note do it Saturday for the Knights. We saw her hit from every possible area on the court, and the Lancers had nothing to stop her. So when you have a great hitter like that, you want her to get her as many touches as possible. So Hill with another one-handed set as Bredensteiner has to hit from the back row. Anna Fry now swinging from the 10-foot line. And a great dig there from Hill as she read the Takasik tip perfectly. Grace is going to have an opportunity here as Hill goes to Fry, who had only one block, and Takasik another one-handed tip over. So the rally continues here as Eckwright, the swing cross court, and Novotny with the diving dig. Huntington here trying to end the point, and they go to Bynum, but it's going to be blocked back by Bell and Fry.
Yeah, I don't think, again, Huntington's set her like that. She's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
She goes for a lot of those shots like that and, mixes it up a little bit. It's not just, trying to put the kill over, but kind of the behind the back or behind the head little hit there.
Yeah, she is a taller setter at 5'9", so tries to utilize that when she's in the front row. Michaela Bell keeps the ball alive after she was blocking at the net there. Takasic going to Eckrite, her go-to option, but that ball's put back from Harrington and Bell. So there's nothing you like to see more than Grace's blocking performing well going into Saturday's must-win match.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've talked about that in keys to games like that. If we can block really well or at least get a hand on it, it changes a lot.
So Eckrite trying to go in that back corner there as Hill sets Mahalski, fellow senior, on the outside, and they're going to call a tick. Coach Herbert can't believe it as she's going to call Takasic over to go speak to the top official.
I'm not sure about that one either. Did you see a tip on it?
I didn't from my angle, but maybe it's just a senior night gesture.
Maybe we need to put it in slow motion, see if we can get the replay.
Well, we don't want to trust your eyesight. I will make the call there.
I left my glasses up here last time, and I have no idea where they're at. I was thinking I was coming back up here for the broadcast and finding my reading glasses, but they're nowhere to be found. Somebody else must have needed them.
So Anna Fry continues her serve, and Bynum with a strong swing there. And Mahalski's going to pick up another kill there. So Grace leads by 8 here, and Huntington's just living on a prayer, trying to stay alive here in the third set.
Great body adjustment in the air by Deb like that to be able to get the ball across.
Yeah, and we spoke on it earlier. It's being able to have a multitude of shots there at the net to react to the blockers. And Mahalski's done a great job of it tonight. And there she is, just tipping as Bynum's able to pick it up. And there you see Paige Eckrite put it down, and she had a little bit of a stare down after that one.
She's like, finally, I've been able to be able to put that ball away.
As Eckrite has over 400 kills on the season. And you just have to wonder how much she's been able to rack up over her tremendous 4-year career. Takasic with the strong serve as Mahalski's blocked after a right-handed attack. Oh, Hill picks it up.
Whoa.
Harrington with the one-handed to keep it alive. Bynum there with the tip. And once again, we get that long rally where everyone's just kind of picking it up at the net, and Eckrite puts an end to that.
Yeah, that's been pretty impressive. They've been able to get a lot of balls up like that, just things that you wouldn't expect. It goes back to what we talked about against Marion, scrappiness.
Mm-hmm. So Takasic continue to serve now. Hill sitting the right side Harrington, and Butler read it perfectly to pick up the dig. A tip back row, and Grace has a great opportunity here, but Bynum's block changed everything about that, and you see Harrington again going into the scores table to keep that ball alive. The tip coming from Lewis, picked up from Hill, and a back set with a Mahalski attack. Eckrite now changing up the pace with a dig, with a tip, and Hill picks up the dig. And another exhausting rally is going to be put to an end by Taya Bynum with the kill.
Yeah, and for Huntington, that's who they're going to go to when they need it. Paige maybe been struggling a little bit, putting some balls away because we've been out there on the block, but we still haven't really connected to be able to block Bynum yet.
So they serve at Fry there in the back row, and Mahalski with the attack cross court. That ball goes right through the block of Harrington, and Eckrite's able to pick up the kill. As Coach Herbert continues to cheer on her Foresters team, which is going to force Coach Katie Van Hofwegen into a timeout. So Grace leads 23-19, and we'll take a timeout here in the booth in return for the final points of this match. Good evening and welcome back, Lancer fans. As Grace leads here 23-19, I'm Stephen Halstead with my co-host Mike Hill. The Lancers trying to find a way to close out in a straight sets victory here versus Huntington. They need just 2 points, but Takasik has been on a serving run here for the Foresters as they continue to battle here in the third set. Mahalski with a roll shot and another great opportunity here for the Foresters as Bynum tips it right to Hill. Gabby Harrington a strong swing and just has to bump the ball back over the net. And another kill there for Eckrite. So slowly but surely this 8-point lead is down to 3. And Grace is just trying to find a way to not play a 4-set here tonight. And in these moments, you just need 1 point.
Right, yeah. Just get one pass, get it in offense.
And Hill's going to set there from the 10-foot line to no one. And Harrington has to fill it. So it looked like the Lancers had something called there, but the bad pass from the serve wasn't able to get him in position. But Harrington picks up the kill, and just like that, you see the Lancer fans exhale a little bit as they have a 4-point match point opportunity here. So the crowd gets onto their feet, needing just 1 point here to close out a senior night. Takasik going to Bynum. The ball's blocked from senior Deb Mahalski. So it's only a fitting way to end this as you have Deb Mahalski get the block kill to win the match.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to end a game. Again, we've talked about it over and over and over, and that's the grittiness that you've seen come out in the last couple games and the defensive play, being able to get blocks up and stuff like that. So that's a great way to end.
And we can't say enough about the 3 seniors on this Lancer team, Caroline Meyer, Deb Mahalski, and Alexa Hill, the leadership they've been able to provide, and no better way for them to go out with a straight sweep victory over Huntington here tonight. So if you want to stay tuned, we're going to go off air, but they're going to honor the seniors down on the court as the seniors video recorded themselves, an audio recording, saying some things, giving some thank yous to the coaches, teammates, parents. If you want to stay tuned, I believe you're going to be able to hear that, and we're going to keep the broadcast live. But it's been an honor this season to be the voice of the Lancers here with Mike Hill, that we have been able to bring you Grace Lancers volleyball. Mike, any last words before we sign off?
Yeah, again, it's been a great year. Great to watch the girls play, the teams grow. Again, love seeing them grow, not only in the way that they play together, but their friendships together. I think if you talk with a lot of the players, their friendship with each other has grown throughout the year. And I just think it's been, again, we've talked about this in college athletics before, is great to come out and play the game, but the relationships that build long-term that will last forever are always something that you'll cherish for all of your life.
So you see the 3 seniors still out there on the court talking to coach. A tradition of coach is that the juniors and the underclassmen have to get senior night ready. She doesn't do anything, so it makes her job a little easier. The juniors lead their shopping spree as they all pitch in money to decorate the court and also get gifts. So the underclassmen run off to get their gifts for the seniors. Grace wins in straight sets here tonight, 3-0 versus Huntington. This is Stephen Halstead and Mike Hill signing off.